He kept going straight for a while and then a fork appeared. Which way should we go? Well, I think we can get to the exit faster if we go to the right. So which way should we go? I suspected he was doing that because of me. Are you sure? Sorry, I can't help. I am? Just sitting here? Having a headache? I don't remember giving him anything. I was about to ask what he meant when suddenly Meoshi pushed the stick hard to the side. Yeah! Outside, 3 aliens had suddenly appeared. To the left, right, and rear. 3 at once. He squeezed off a shot, hitting the right alien in the jewel. Behind us! There are 2 aliens behind us now. Meoshi kept the stick hard to the right, and we kept turning until we were facing backwards along the track. As soon as they were in our sights, a shot from another alien slammed into our side of a ship. I grabbed him to see as we shook. Ah! My head was feeling wobbly enough as it is. I didn't need a shaking ship, too. He stopped short as he noticed me beginning to fall out of my seat. Not again. It's like this is the second time, we got partnered up with Meoshi and then we lose. Technically 3 times, I guess, if you count the hospital. I don't know. Game over? I only barely heard the announcement. You would think him being the pro gamer, you would think we would win every time, but actually we kept losing every time. I'd only barely heard the announcement. No, this is my fault. I could hear Meoshi, but his voice sounded far away somehow. I felt his hand against my forehead, but it was ice cold. I'm sorry, this is my fault. That's not true. There was a second of silence on the other end of the radio. What? Meoshi turned the radio off before Shido could finish. Why are we leaving? Okay, interesting. I guess on Meoshi's route, at least in this particular section of the game, we don't actually see the full puzzle maybe? We just leave, Just go home. He hopped out of the ship and onto the rail that had carried us there. I swallowed. Is that true? It's only been like 3 or 4 days, You build up muscles that quickly? I don't believe it. Yes, Princess Carrie. I felt myself rise into the air, and when I opened my eyes, Meoshi's face was much closer than before. From a start, I realized he was carrying me. I'm fine. I could barely speak, and I knew I sounded like death, but that didn't stop me. It didn't stop Meoshi either, though, and he kept walking down the rail as if he couldn't hear me. Even in my nearly delirious state, I could tell that his arms were steady. Hogstein's voice echoed down from the ceiling. Punished, eh? Hogstein was gonna do something horrible to Meoshi and I'd call it punishment. I knew it. I couldn't let that happen. Please, go back. But no matter how much I struggled, I couldn't manage to form the words. Before he hung up, I thought I heard Hogstein say that things were about to get interesting. Uh-oh.
もうすぐ出口だ。眩しいから目を閉じておいた方がいいよ。
Meoshi.
大丈夫。もう少しの辛抱だから。
The light shining in through the exit grew brighter, and I shut my eyes against it. As soon as we were out of the attraction, I felt Meoshi lay me down on the bench. Once he was sure I was safe, he sunk to the ground, breathing hard. I wanted to do something, but I could barely keep my head up. You haven't been doing enough cardio, maybe, Meoshi. Are you okay? No, to be honest, I've been lazy myself. These like past few months as well. Haven't been exercising as much as I want to. Oh well. I'm sorry. It sounded like his words were more for him than for me, but they seemed to work because he picked me back up and set off, his face determined. Okay, yeah, we just abandoned the attractions. Interesting that we just do that. To be honest, I'm more, you know, invested in doing the actual death games, but I guess this is the direction the story is going, I guess. When I opened my eyes again, I wasn't outside. It took me a moment to recognize the ceiling of the restaurant. I was lying on something flat and hard, probably one of the tables. How did I get here? As I sat up, something fell off my forehead. Huh? A wet towel. I stared at it for a moment before things finally started to come together. It looked like I'd fallen asleep at some point. Meoshi had carried me back to the restaurant and done his best to help me feel better. Next to me on the table are several dry towels. He must have been getting new ones while I slept. It's a little past 6. I've been asleep for 5 hours. Yeah, we just skipped that. We just skipped that part. I skipped the, the part of the game for this day. Suddenly, I wondered what had happened with the game. Had they managed to beat it? If they hadn't, I felt my chest tighten. Nope, they all died. The end. Everyone died in the attraction. Meoshi got executed, I guess, as punishment. And, I guess Mitarashi and Mai, their ship blew up as well, just because, and everyone is dead. The end. There have been 5 of us to begin with, and after Meoshi and I left, there would have been down to 3. I looked up to see a glass of apple juice in front of me, held out by Meoshi himself. Thanks. I took the cool glass from his hand and drank the whole thing in one swig. If they finish the game. If they finish the game. He made it sound like it was already a fact that they'd be coming back, and it made me feel a little more hopeful. Oh, sorry. I must have been pretty heavy.
タオルは敷いたんだけど数がなくて。
I'm okay. My fever is actually gone down thanks to you. I feel quite a bit better. You can say I'm sorry or thank you, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if it doesn't matter. But you say thank you. I mean, it sounds more, positive to thank someone than to apologize, I guess. Thank you so much.
いいよ、気にしないで。仲間なんだから。迷惑くらいかけても構わない。
Art. He blushed and coughed.
他のみんなに比べれば僕が頼りない存在なん
Not
だ。
as macho and manly, I guess. But well, I mean, most of them are B shonens. The only real macho guy I guess would be Mitarashi out of this group of B shonens.
だけど辛い時くらいはできればでいい。僕のことも頼ってほしい。
You shouldn't be so hard on yourself, but thanks. He smiled crookedly and looked away. With all he knows about video games and what happened in the last game, I feel like I've already been counting on him a lot. Has he not noticed?
じきにみんなも戻ってくる。君はもう少し横になっていた方がいいよ。
Oh. It was a little past 7 when I saw several familiar figures appear outside the restaurant.
いたいた。
You guys.
おかえり。ゲームは？
なんとかクリア。正直ちょっと危なかったけどね。
Wakasa grinned and I let out a small sigh of relief. Oh, thank goodness.
それにしてもお前さんらがゲームを放棄したとワルド部に聞いた時は驚いたが。なるほどな。お嬢ちゃんを見て大体の察しはついた。
勝手な行動をして悪かったと思ってる。
No, it's my fault. It was just worried about me.
まあ待て待て。どっちが悪いなんてことはないんだから謝らなくていい。
そんな状況じゃしょうがないよ。結局クリアできたんだし。
その通りだ。お前は正しい行動をした。胸を張れ。
ありがとう。
I was glad these were the people I had on my side for the games, and Meoshi seemed to feel the same way.
でもさ、ちょっとまずいことになるかもしれないんだよね。
Huh? Wakasa frowned.
ワルド部がな、ゲームをクリアした後にちょいと不吉なことを言ってたんだ。
What did he say?
これは連帯責任だ。楽しみにしてろ。そう言っていた。
Keep is he planning something?
わからない。だが何かを仕掛けてくる可能性は大いにある。警戒するに越したことはないだろう。
まあここで気にしてても仕方ない。何か起きた時にまた考えればいいさ。
あいつが予告するとも思えないしな。とにかく今は食事をとって体を休めよう。
はあ、僕もうお腹ペコペコ。悪いけど先に何か取ってくるよ。
そうだ。ホテルにいる舞とみたらしの分も持って帰ってやらんとな。
Oh, I can do that. You should eat.
おい、体は大丈夫なのか？
Yeah, I got lots of rest.
それじゃあ任せたぜ、お嬢ちゃん。
I moved to get off the table, but Meoshi stopped me.
待って。君はまだ寝ていた方がいい。
What? No, I can't just lie around up here while everyone's eating.
じゃあせめて椅子に座ってて。テイクアウトは僕がやる。
Well, if you're sure. Thanks. He gave me an unexpected smile and turned to follow Shirobe and the others over to the counter. I feel kind of bad letting him do everything, but he doesn't seem to mind. Yes, let's take advantage of his goodwill.
あのさ、
Oh, hey, what's up?
みたらしさんとあの子何が好きか知ってる？
I'm trying to remember. Wasn't there that one scene where, in the very, like, close to the beginning, after the first game, where everyone picked their own food? But I guess Mitarashi wasn't part of that scene, actually, so he wasn't there. I don't know. I wouldn't know. He said he'd ask the others, but they hadn't known either. I guess I'll have to go after all, huh?
ごめん。
Then, just as I stood up, a blaring electronic wail filled the air.
なんだ
A siren.
鳴ってるのはここじゃない。
We get a chance to eat. We rush out of the restaurant to find the siren was coming from speakers scattered everywhere. The signs that usually enveloped the park had been completely eradicated by the incredible racket.
一体何が起こっている？
これもワルド部の仕業なのかな？
ようこそ視界島へ。ここはゾンビに支配された陸の孤島。生き延びるためにゾンビの謎を解き明かすのだ。
More zombies? Is this an announcement for an attraction? That can't be. Today's game is already over. Hogstein's voice had replaced the announcers.
一体どういうことだ？
But you already did survival horror. You gonna do it again?
ゾンビってどういうことだよ？
With clear glee, Hogstein explained that a bunch of zombies had been released into the park. There would be more and more as time went on until we were buried under a massive tide of them.
なんてこった。
Really? Already? I can't remember. I thought he said before in the very beginning that there were 7 games in total, right? Or was it less than that? Because the only 4 games have been completed so far. And it's already the last game already? Oh, okay. Is that how it is? You know, it's technically 1 game, but really it's 3 games. So all at once, 3 more is the finale, maybe? Technically it's 7 games. He roared with laughter. Okay, and a bigger time limit, I guess.
よく言うぜ。いいかエリア。安全に休める時間は一切ないってことじゃないか。
これが侮辱への報いってわけか。それではあなたはゲームと変えますね。どうぞ皆さん、終わりなき地獄をお楽しみください。
It is interesting. I think, I mean, it seems like this only happens in Meoshi's route, right? I mean, I haven't played the other route, so I don't know if it goes this way in the other routes. But, you know, this seems different. You know, I imagine normally there would be just more attractions every single day until the 7th day, right? As normal, but this seems like a completely different thing that's happening in the story. I don't know. It makes me tempted to do other playthroughs. We'll see. After I finish this one, I guess. Maybe I'll check out if I want to do the other routes. I mean, I imagine it's not... It's a little tedious, though, because I have to go through all the dialogues again, but... no, we'll see. His laughter echoed across the park until the radio clicked off. For several long minutes, no one spoke. Well, we might as well go back into the restaurant. But as I turned around, the restaurant's lights went out. No, no food for us. Shiro ran to the door and the rest of us followed after him.
ダメだな。 鍵をかけられた。
どうするの？ゾンビってもうそこらにいるんだよね。
落ち着け。とにかく状況の整理を。
ちょっと待って。あそこに何かいる。
Huh? I followed the line of his finger.
ゾンビだ!
Zombie da! Wakasa said what we were all thinking. Zombie. This guy again. Its skin was cracked and rotting, and it moved with an odd shuffling gait. In one hand it held a lantern, in the other a submachine gun. They're just like the ones from the hospital, but that's not possible.
あいつらのアトラクションは昨日爆破されたはずだろう。
No, obviously they're zombies, so I guess they just come back to life, right? That's how it works. Jiraiya seemed to be thinking exactly the same thing.
とりあえず逃げるぞ。全員走れ。
走れる。
I'm fine.
手を貸して。行くよ。
Ratatatata. As we began to run, the zombie opened fire, bullets cracking and pinging off the ground and walls around us. I concentrated on Meoshi's hand and ran as fast as I could. Animal? By sticking to the shadows and moving through hidden valleys, we were able to move relatively safely. Eventually, we were able to reach an attraction that seemed to be zombie-free. The place we found ourselves was some sort of cute animal-themed music-based attraction. It seemed oddly surreal given our current situation. You know, maybe the animals are the zombies as well. They're gonna rise up and kill us. They're just pretending to be cute animals. I don't know.
大丈夫。
I think so.
病み上がりで全力疾走は辛いだろう。少し休め。
Okay, thanks.
で、メオシ、どうしてお前さんまで肩で息してるんだ。
僕はすぐ落ち着く。
Meoshi was panting almost as hard as I was. He really did not really keep up with his cardio. He said he didn't have much stamina to begin with, but had he tired himself out more worrying about me?
それよりこれって一体どういうことなのさ。
大声を出すな。ゾンビに見つかる。
ごめん。でもなんでゾンビがいるんだよ。あいつらがいた血まみれホスピタルはもうないはずなのに。
スカイチマン。
Huh? He seemed to have finally gotten his breath back.
血まみれホスピタル。ゲームの方だけど、それの2作目の舞台がスカイチマなんだ。
Okay, so really it's just a sequel to the last game. At least the horror game.
メオシ、何か知ってることはないか。とにかく今は謎を解くヒントが欲しい。
ごめん。僕はプレイしてないんだ。
You never played it. Nani?
ネオシさんでもやらないゲームってあるんだ。
I guess the sequel had bad reviews. You know, it wasn't as good as the original or something.
作りが安易だ、手抜きだってユーザーから散々酷評されてたからね。あえて避けたんだ。
It got a 3.0 in Metacritic, but I never bothered.
100万本を超えた初代とは対照的に2作目は数万本しか売れなかったらしい。結局シリーズもそこで打ち切りさ。
Isn't that the way with a lot of video games? You know, the first one's pretty good, the second one is not as great.
このゲームはそれを模している。そういうことか。
わからない。だけどワルドブーがスカイ島といった以上関係はあると思う。
テーマパーク全体が舞台のゲームか。むちゃくちゃな上に厄介だな。まさか今になってゾンビどもが出てくるとは。
僕らパンドラの箱を開けてしまったのか。
ありとあらゆる最悪の詰まった箱。
He grinned and tapped his finger against his forehead.
ありとあらゆるってテンションが下がるようなこと言わないでよ。
安心しろ。箱にあるのは絶望だけじゃない。
Ah yes, there's hope. You know, Pandora's box has all the evils in the world, but there's also one speck of hope at the very bottom, I guess, or something like that.
どういうこと？
どんなに絶望的な状況でも希望はどこかにあるってことさ。
Kibo.
パンドラの箱には災厄が詰まっていた。だが
Hope, right? Hope. Hopeity hope. Meoshi nodded.
希望は僕ら自身だ。最悪も絶望も僕らが全部吹き飛ばそう。
ほう、随分と前向きじゃないか。
みんなのおかげさ。やっと人並みってところだろうけどね。
He gave Shurabe a nervous smile.
問題は目的がまだわからないことだ。まずは何からするべきか。
なあ、とりあえずはホテルが岸についてるか見に行かないか。舞たちのことも気になる。
そうだな。ひとまず船着き場へ向かおう。
Rock music, just plays.
見当たらないな。
There was no sign of the hotel. Shido sighed.
いつもならもう船は着いている時間だ。そこまで甘くないと思ってはいたが、やはり船は来ないようだ。
逃げ場はないか。
Shirabe's expression had grown dark, and I realized with a start that he must be worried about mine. It'll be okay. Mitarashi's with her, remember? He'll make sure she's safe.
おちょおちょ。
ホテルにいるなら問題ないだろう。むしろあそこにいた方が安全なはずだ。着岸していないならゾンビと遭遇もしない。
そうだな。すまん。年長者がこれじゃいかんな。
You see, what you didn't know is that actually there was a bunch of corpses on the ship, that were hidden, and they just came to life, and now they're all shooting at Mitarashi and the little girl. They're all dead. They're all riddled with bullets. No. He took in a long, slow breath, then let out.
まずは情報を整理しよう。それから今後どう行動するかを決めるべきだ。
I don't know why I don't know. I just like to imagine just horrible things keep happening to his character. More horrible than it is right now. I don't know. I guess I just want them to all die. Really? Everyone just blow up? Come on, hurry up. That's
ホテ
why.
ルとレストランに入れなくなった今、100% 安全だと言える場所はどこにもない。
That's why I even play this game. Just even blow up, I guess. Let's see. The cake in the hotel restaurant is nowhere that can be considered safe.
俺たちが助かるにはこのゲームをクリアするしか道はないわけだな。
How do you beat the game?
どうすればゲームが終わるのか。まずはそこだね。
All the other games had an announcement at the beginning that had some sort of hint in it. Shouldn't this one have something like that too?
アナウンスなんて言ってたっけ？
生き延びるためにゾンビの謎を解き明かせ。そう言ってた。
Seems pretty straightforward. I don't know. But I guess all the announcements sound pretty straightforward. Hogstein also said that there will be more zombies as time goes on.
ゾンビの巣窟だった血まみれホスピタルはもうないってのに、一体どこからそんな数のゾンビが現れてるんだ。
それは
もしかしたらそれがゾンビの謎なのかもしれない。
よし、まずやるべきことは決まったな。ゾンビの出所を解明する。それが今の最優先事項だ。
We all nodded in agreement.
それじゃあ早速動くとするか。
もちろん全員で固まって動くんだよね。ゾンビが徘徊する中で一人とか絶対に嫌だよ僕。
そうだな。大勢で動くのはリスクもあるが、今回は仕方ないだろう。その方が周りに気も配れるし、不意も疲れにくい。
それは構わんが、 お嬢ちゃんを連れて行くのには反対だ
What?
な。まだ本調子じゃないんだろ。最終日までとは言わんが、今夜くらいは休んでおくべきじゃないか。
I'm gonna end up just like sitting around all day again.
確かにそうだな。まずは体調を回復させることが先決か。
We never get into the action. I want to shoot some zombies.
一緒に残るよ。
No?
元のゲームを知らないから今回はあまり役に立てそうにないし、何より彼女が心配だから。
Meoshi.
それじゃあ、その組み分けていこう。
携帯の使用は許可されたんだったな。何かあったらすぐに連絡を入れる。携帯は常に気にしておいてくれ。
分かった。
じゃあ2人とも行ってくるね。
Be careful. Akasa grinned, Shirabei nodded, and Shido simply lifted his hand in a single wave. Then they disappeared into the darkness, leaving us alone. They're gone.
今日のゲームだって彼らはたった3人でクリアしたんだ。
Okay, we'll just leave it to them while we make out. You know, basically. Yeah, you're right. We just don't do anything. We're just sitting here doing nothing.
見張りは
Twiddling our thumbs.
君は少し寝た方がいい。
I'm glad he's willing to look out for me, but... I don't know what to say, but what if I say no, that's okay? That's okay, I'll stay up with you.
ダメだ。無理をしてもいいことはない。まずは体力を万全にするべきだよ。
It wasn't that he was forceful, but something about the concern in his voice brought me around. Fine, fine, I'll rest. Just promise to wake me up if something happens.
あ
Oh jeez, I think I bumped you, sorry.
今気づいたんだ。いいよ、そのままで。その方が仲間みたいで、僕も嬉しい。
What's a bump or two between friends? I guess I got friend zoned. We smiled at each other and I felt like we were just a bit closer. Okay. I guess another locket dream thing. We hadn't noticed it, but the shadow of doom was already creeping up to our feet. The shadow of doom?
眠っちゃったわね。
あれだけはしゃげばな。
僕、眠ってないよ。あら、そんなに眠そうな声を出して。眠ってもいいのよ。家まではもう少しかかるんだから。おやすみ。
思い切って休みを取ってよかったな。
ええ、忙しいのにありがとうございます。
いや、やはりこういった時間は必要だと実感したよ。これからはなるべく時間を作ろうと思う。
あなた、無理なさらないでね。
Okay. What is just, you know, dreams of a happy, traditional nuclear family. I don't know what they represent at all. Maybe we'll learn later. Maybe something tragic happens with that family. I don't know. That's what it seems to be building up to. Like, as it turns out, Saki had like a bigger brother that she forgot about or something. I don't know. And her like parents got murdered. Maybe, maybe not. But then again, like, you know, again, the voice did mention that her name was Akane, so it can't be Saki unless you change her name. Anyway. Wow, it's really dark. I blinked my eyes and looked around, and not completely awake yet. The sky was dark and the air was clear, but something felt off. It's so quiet. I wonder what time it is. I dug around my pocket for my phone. Nothing. No texts or calls, I guess. As it turned out, it was 2 in the morning. I'd only intended to take a nap, but it looked like I slept longer than planned. Yeah, that happens to me sometimes. Trying to take a nap, but as it turns out, it turns out to be 2 a.m. Whoops. It had paid off though. I didn't feel feverish anymore. I wonder if that had any significance. I guess it was just plot reasons. I don't know, like her food was poisoned or something, but I guess It was just a fever. I guess caused by stress, maybe. That's just all it was. My head felt a little fuzzy, but I figured that would be gone pretty quickly. Now, where's Meoshi? He was standing next to a tree some distance away, his arms crossed, keeping an eye on the surroundings. Hey.
起きてたんだ。体調はど
A lot better. My fever's gone and my head doesn't hurt anymore.
う？そう。よかった。
Has anything happened?
特にはない。この辺りはすごく静かだよ。
Have you heard from Shido?
まだ何も。状況は気になるけど、手を煩わせるのも悪いし、こっちからもかけてない。
Huh, well, I hope they're okay. He nodded and went back to watching. I can take watch for a while if you want.
いや、僕はいいよ。
You need rest too, aren't you tired?
そうでもない。もともとそんなに眠る方じゃないんだ。だから夜更かしとか徹夜にも慣れてる。
What a gamer. Why don't you sleep?
ゲームをやっていると気づくと朝になってたなんてことも当たり前だから。のめり込むと特にね。時間を忘れてしまう。
You know, to me, for me, it's not games. For me, often when I read like a manga and I don't realize that I just get too engrossed into a manga that has so many chapters, that happens to me sometimes. When I just go on like a impromptu marathon and I forget that I have to sleep, you know? It's not great though. I'd rather sleep, actually. It just messes up my sleep schedule. But that happens. Anyway. Oh, well, that's kind of cool. Is it cool? I don't know if you should glorify being a night. Well, I guess you could just be a night owl, I guess. You know? As long as your schedule is consistent. Anyway. I always get sleepy as soon as the sun goes down.
すごくなんてないさ。ゲームで徹夜なんて褒められたことじゃない。
He looked down and kicked at the ground. You seem to know an awful lot about games. What stuff do you play? It's just small talk.
でも君は知らないと思うよ。
Yes, my tastes are my taste in games are too high culture for you. You wouldn't understand casual. Yeah, I guess I probably wouldn't know anything about anything that's not pretty mainstream, but I love to hear about them. There's still a lot of night left, and I don't want to go back to sleep yet. Are you sure you won't tell me about your games?
今やってるのは RPG と言ってもちょうどここに来る前日にクリアしてしまったけど。
Okay, what kind of RPG?
悪の魔王に支配された世界を救うためにプレイヤーは旅に出るんだ。まあ王道のストーリーさ。
I mean, it just sounds like Dragon Quest. Is that the reference? No?
主人公は勇者の血を引く者たちを探すんだけど、その仲間たちがくせ者揃いでね。最初はチームワークのかけらもないんだ。だけど旅を共にしていくうちに少しずつではあるけど絆が生まれていって、やがてはかけがえのない仲間になる。
Yeah, it does sound like your typical JRPG. That sounds kind of like us.
僕らの場合は魔王に用意された仲間だったけどね。考えてみれば前代未聞だな。そんなゲームはやったことがない。
Haven't played a game like that before, eh? What about something called Sweet Fuse? You know, just play your own game. It gets meta. So, what about the game? What happens in the end? Well, you see, everyone dies.
ボスを倒して世界は救われる。でも、その平和は見せかけのものなんだ。
Spoilers, dude. What? Well, did you really beat it then?
言えないね。だから周回しなくちゃならない。2周目にならないと真の黒幕は倒せないんだ。これもよくあるシステムだよ。
Damn you, Yoko Taro. Huh, that sounds like a lot of work.
面倒な時もあるけど、時間が有り余ってる人間にとってはやりがいがあるよ。あと、ここに持ってきた携帯ゲームの方は探偵になって事件を解決するアドベンチャー。それもあと少しでクリアできるんだ。
And you play rhythm games too, right? Man, you're good at a lot of stuff.
でも、一番好きなのは格闘ゲームかな。円卓コロシアムナイツっていうゲーム知ってる？
Round Table Coliseum Night? Does it have King Arthur in it? And is King Arthur actually a little girl with blonde hair and yells Excalibur? The name sounds kind of familiar. Oh right, that's one of the attractions here at the park.
対戦型の格闘ゲームなんだけど、僕は今まで一度も負けたことがないんだ。
Really? Wow, that's amazing.
人より多くプレイしてるってだけさ。それだけやってれば当然腕も良くなる。そんな調子で連勝記録を伸ばしていたらいつの間にかネットでは格闘神なんて呼ばれるようになってた。
Aries. My god.
その他にも目についたゲームの中ではプレイしてる。だからジャンルとかそういうものにこだわりはないんだ。
How many games do you play?
年に100本程度かな。
100? 100 a year? I mean, I don't think I play that much. 100?
おそらくね。ちゃんと数えたことはないし、ダウンロード版やネット上でのゲームもあるから。
I guess gacha games as well.
数はわからないけど。
What a gamer. He just plays everything. How do you have time to play everything? You know, how are you gonna get good at fighting games as well? Because fighting games are really hard. They're like any kind of game with high skill ceiling, I guess, as well. But then you also play other games as well. That's a lot of games. I don't think you can, like, at least a normal person wouldn't be able to get good at everything, I feel like. Still, that's a lot of games. Doesn't that take a lot of time?
まちまちさ。アクションやパズルゲームなら時間はそうかからないし、RPG なんかでもクリアまでが短いものも多くある。それに時間だけは余るほどあるから。
Huh?
言っただろう。僕は引きこもりだ。学校にはもう長いこと行ってない。
Did he mention? Well, I'm trying to listen to the. Did he say hikikomori? Because it sounds like he's saying that he's a hikikomori. You know, someone obviously. It's a stereotype, right? The person that doesn't go outside ever.
言っただろう。僕は引きこもりだ。
Yeah. Boku wa hikikomori da.
もう長いこと行ってない。
I guess that wasn't localized, but basically that's what he says. I'm a hikikomori. That's what he said.
中学に入った頃から休みがちになって、なんとか卒業して高校にも入学はしたけど、出席日数が足りずに。
I mean, it's a bit of a cliche, but also I guess it's real, you know, as well. It's a very Japanese term, actually, hikikomori. Someone who doesn't literally doesn't go outside because of a social anxiety or whatever. With a combination of how, you know, Japanese culture works, where you're kind of pressured into you know, stuff like getting a career, you know, getting a good education, that sort of thing. It's probably a combination of things as well. It's a uniquely Japanese term, but it's probably not unique in terms of, like, you know, over the world. Anyway.
それからはずっと家にこもってる。だからゲームをする時間だけはいくらでもあるんだ。
I mean, it sounds like you're living life. You know, you just play games all day.
寝て起きてゲームをして、時には眠ることもせずにゲームをし続ける。毎日その繰り返しさ。
You sure do like games. You know, that's a very cop-out answer, I feel like. You sure do like games, as if it's not escapism for your personal issues. Why do you stay inside all the time? I think this is a proper question to ask. I don't know. So why do you stay inside all the time?
それは
He shuddered slightly, like he was cold. Then he turned away. Maybe not. Maybe I dug in too deep.
興味を持ってくれるのは嬉しい。けど、それは
Oh no, you get a love bomb, you know? He barely managed to get the words out, and I couldn't bring myself to press him further. You know, maybe something happened. Some kind of trauma. Maybe he got bullied. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have asked about that. Technically, it was the correct option, though. Well, sorry. He shook his head and apologized, too. My phone, it's Shirabe. Hello? Shirabe? Hello? All I could hear from the other end was a rough, crackling static. What's wrong? Oh, I guess the reception is not great. Is the connection bad? I can barely hear him. What? Shido's on...
消えちまったんだ。
Where'd he go?
詳しくはバザールの起きやがる。
Shirabe! Shirabe! Went dead.
指導さんが消えたってどういうこと？
I don't know. The connection was so bad I can only make out about half of what he said. But I think Shirabe is running from someone. Or something.
ゾンビだろうね。
I heard gunshots on the other end of the call. Meoshi was probably right.
他に何か分かったことは？
He mentioned the bazaar, but I don't know what that is or why he was talking about it.
バザール？そんな名前のアトラクションあったかな？もう歩ける？
Huh? Yeah, I'm fine.
じゃあとりあえず案内板を見に行こう。エリアの確認をしたい。調べさんたちに何が起こってるのかも気になる。
Yeah, good idea.
案内板は広場にあったはずだ。行こう。
It was funny though, speaking of hikikomoris, the one time that actually you should stay at home, you know? At least the time I'm streaming this while the, COVID-19 is going around and you're encouraged to socially isolate. Now, we have an excuse to stay home, is all I'm saying. You shouldn't be ashamed of it anymore. On our way to the plaza, we passed by the remains of the hospital. Hogstein had blown it up when we failed the game on the third day, and there was nothing left. Instead of a building, there was just a gaping, blackened hole in the ground. I've been too disorientated when we first escaped to really grasp what had happened, but as I looked at it now, a shiver went up my spine. Miraculously, no one had died, although Mitarashi had gotten hurt. Okay? That confirms it, I guess, that no one died. It's still weird. I just assumed Urabe died. Apparently, everyone also assumes, however, that no one died. It's weird to me. Well, perhaps not miraculously. If Urabe hadn't told us about the hidden door, we all would have died. I shivered again.
平気？
Oh yeah, sorry. He looked at me for a moment and frowned worriedly. I remember with a start that Meoshi had been the one to shield me from the explosion. He saved me so much I was having trouble keeping it all straight.
まずい、こっち。
Huh? He grabbed my arm and pulled me to some trees before I could spot what had spooked him.
頭下げて。そのまま隠れてて。
He moved around in front of me. Then I heard it, the ominous shuffling footsteps of a zombie. It took me a moment to spot in the darkness, but once I did, it was unmistakable. You know, it just looks kind of silly to me, the zombie. I think it's meant to be scary, obviously. It just looks silly. It's because of the axe. I think it's the axe on his head. That's often used as a gag, you know? As like a joke of like Halloween costumes. That's why it just looks silly to me. Well, no matter how many times I saw them, the zombies were creepy as heck. If he spots us, he'll open fire and we'll be toast. I held my breath and Meoshi stood perfectly still as we waited for the zombie to move past.
もう大丈夫かな。
After looking around carefully to make sure the zombie was gone, we stepped out of the trees.
もしかしたら血まみれホスピタルの跡地からゾンビが湧いてるんじゃとも思ったけど、そんな様子はない。一体ゾンビはどこから出現してるんだ。
Finally.
3時を過ぎてる。思ったよりも時間を食った。
You know, I noticed that the weird dragon statues, I guess, are they dragons? They look like dragons on the left and right. They have glowing red eyes. You didn't see that before. The zombies are everywhere. We had to keep quiet whenever we saw one and always be on our toes, so even a short distance had taken a long time to cover. Here's the map. Let's see, bazaar.
あった。これだ。入場ゲートから広場までを結んでるエリアがバザールプラネットというらしい。
That's right. I remember a shopping mall right on the inside of the front gate.
行ってみよう。
Yeah. We headed off again, keeping a sharp eye out for zombies. It didn't take us long to reach bizarre planet. Unsurprisingly, it has a sort of a space theme with images of stars and planets everywhere. It's quiet. That doesn't seem right.
ゾンビがいないのは助かるけど、この分だと調べさんたちもいなさそうだ。
And where are they? Maybe he was talking about something else.
電話が切れた時、調べさんは何かが来たって言ってたんだよね。だとしたら、その何かから逃げるためにまた別の場所へ移動した可能性が高い。とにかくみんなの安否がわかるような手がかりでもあればいいんだけど。
Well, it doesn't look like there are any zombies. Should we split up and search?
それがいい。でも念のため、あまり離れないようにしよ
う。We began the search, never letting the other out of our sight. All the stores seemed to be locked, so it wasn't likely they run into one of them. I began searching the ground for any sort of clue. Wait, there's something here. Meoshi, come over here.
何かあった？
These are Shidos, aren't they? It was a pair of his sunglasses, yes, his gamer glasses. What do you call them? I think there's a name for them, right? I always keep saying they're gamer glasses, but I think there's a name for them. I forget what it was. But, you know, it's those glasses with the orange lens. But the lenses were cracked and the frame was bent. Oh no, now he'll never be a real gamer. I don't think he just dropped them.
この辺りに落ちてたの。
Yeah, right where you're standing.
見える。ここの地面。
Huh? I followed the line of his finger. Oh no.
多分結婚だと思う。
I can't believe, you know, Shido is dead, Urabe is dead, did I say Shirabe? I think I already said, I don't know. Shirabe, Shido, Urabe, you know, they're all dead. On the ground were several dots of dark red liquid. I don't know, you know, you didn't mention Wakasa. Where's Wakasa? I assume he's dead. Everyone is just dead. What happened?
機関銃の音だ。
No, you got your answer. Bullets. It's not stopping. I think it's coming from over there.
バザールプラネットの右にあるのは円卓コロシアムナイツ4だ。
Oh.
行ってみよう。
We hurry toward the gunfire. No one over here either. I guess we have to keep searching.